So my name is AJ Miller. I'm from the USA, from New Jersey. And I've been in Vietnam for about a year and 4 months. I'm a fitness trainer in Thao Dien, so I work with girls with guns, which is not guns, boom, 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 it's guns. And the reason I came here is because my dad was a Vietnam War veteran, and when he died of leukemia, we got his memoirs, and I couldn't read them, so I moved to Vietnam. And so I do some live readings of his memoirs so that his friends and family, my friends and family can learn a little about this place.
Oh, that's lovely.
How is your life in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City?
My life is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I got a decent paying job. Moving to Vietnam is like create you into a different person. A little bit. Not a different person, but a different version of yourself. Like I started stand-up comedy recently. I have an art studio that I'm working with, or it's my art studio. I'm not working with anybody, but you know, just exploring the things I want to explore.
Okay, so rewind. You said you've been in Vietnam for a year and
4 months.
Okay, and you've been teaching fitness in Thao Dien.
Yep, I've been teaching. So I run like a group boot camp for women.
Women with guns. What?
Girls with guns.
Girls with guns.
Yes, girls with guns.
Do you consider
there
me
you
having
go.
guns?
Oh, nice. I see that. No makeup there.
Let me see your guns.
It looks like you came to the gun show up here and the come out show. That's awesome.
Before you moved to Vietnam, you said it was a memoir that made you move here. Was it difficult to make the decision to move to Vietnam, or were you like, hell yes, let me move right now?
It wasn't a hell yes either. I needed to leave the country. I had just spent 3 years taking care of my family through leukemia, my father's leukemia, and then he died. And then another year and a half, you know, so it was a total of 3 years of really just intensive, emotional, and I was drained and I was very depressed. So then when I got his memoirs, I already knew I wanted to leave the country, didn't know where I wanted to go. And I started reading about all these things that he had seen, he had done. It was just like, well, I've just learned a whole shit ton about Vietnam through my dad. And so literally when I landed on the plane, I still thought it was a war zone because that's all he could remember. And so my father had asked me, would you come back to Vietnam with me when I get better? Well, he didn't get better. So I came anyway. The second I landed, I went from being sad and depressed to, okay, this is amazing. I have no idea what this is. I came into Hanoi, and then I just started, you know, volunteer teaching, which did not work for me. I didn't enjoy that.
Very busy.
Oy.
And be a happy teacher and be nice to all the students. And hey, please do your homework. I asked you many times to do this. Listen to the teacher. Please don't talk when the teacher is talking.
It was far more simple. I don't really like kids that much. So I asked to teach older kids, and I was teaching toddlers, and I was like, I'm out. So I bought a motorcycle and I headed south.
Can you tell us more about the way that you follow your dad's story in Vietnam?
He was stationed in Pleiku.
Oh, Pleiku.
So I've been to Pleiku twice. I brought some of his ashes with me, and I meant to spread his ashes in Pleiku, but I wasn't ready to let go of his ashes. So I've also read his stories out loud online so that people can interact with. It's been amazing. When I was up north, I'm gonna try not to cry when I tell this story. I was at a coffee shop and I was wearing my father's dog tag, but I was in the north. You know, the north is different than the south as far as the emotional connection with Americans. And I was in this coffee shop and there was this old man in there, probably 70 something, around the age of my father. And he looks at the dog tag and he's like, you know, where's your dad? And I was like, he died of leukemia. And this is all through Google Translate, right? So it's like, in the simplest format I can possibly, I was like, so my dad fought here. He was a helicopter pilot stationed in Pleiku. And he was like, I fought in the war. And I said, well, he died and he asked me to come here. And the way this man looked into my eyes, like through me to my dad, and just reached out his hand and shook my hand. It was amazing. He said, "You're a good daughter."
It's so nice to feel the emotion that comes through you, because it's really
real.
It's real.
It's so real.
And like
it's strong, so strong.
Very
That's why
strong
I'm here.
woman.
I don't get it, but I don't question. It was a great decision. I love being here. I'm a fitness instructor, but fitness is like the gateway drug to healing, to wellness, to
mental health
and PTSD.
So after the Hanoi trip, you came back down south, right? And how was your journey down south?
Terrifying. I literally bought a piece of shit motorcycle for $150. The thing was falling apart and the brakes weren't working. I was very surprised I was alive at the end of the day. So yeah, I was scared, but it's not like you have a mantra of fear. You have a mantra of, I got this.
So, get back to your childhood. Did you see yourself that different from the other girls?
Did I see myself as different from the other girls? So my parents were very good at not being like male, female. There just wasn't a big conversation in my head. I mean, yeah, I was like, I'm on the girls' cross-country team, but I was slow. I just did things differently. I couldn't communicate well with young people. I was a little bit more about hanging out with adults or older people. I was the weird one in class, you know, the one last picked for the team. I was actually that kid. It's like I just knew that a lot of shit was bullshit. Like the things that little kids say to each other, you know, like I have a gap between my teeth. And in America, you're supposed to get braces. Now I did get braces, but up until that point, which didn't work, by the way. But like, you know, I got made fun of, you know, the gap between your teeth is so big, my mama could drive a pickup truck through there. I just knew it was okay. It was gonna be okay. So I never beat myself up for not being like everyone else. I kind of, once in a while I'd come home and be like, Mom, it's not fair. And my mom would always be like, honey, life ain't fair. Get used to it. You know, she's just like.
Tough love, right?
Yeah. I mean, my parents were very like, I mean, this is the world you live in. It's gonna be okay.
Oh, and like, did you have like any love relationships when you were in school?
I mean, I might have in 5th grade or 4th grade. I think I dated a guy named Steve Rake, you know, and
Steve Rake.
Steve Rake. I know, right? And it's so funny. I just met him again a couple years ago, and I was like, didn't we like go out in 3rd grade? And I can't remember what it was. He was like, no, it was 5th grade, and I was like, what? That was, you know, one of those on the phone. Oh, I'm gonna go date somebody else now. I was like, okay, see you at school tomorrow, you know. But I never actually dated anybody till after high school. The summer after high school,
Wow.
I ran into a childhood friend. Her name was Alexis. So my first relationship was with a woman, really. She went to college at Rutgers, and I didn't go to school because I was working. I was a construction.
What?
I mean, it's so bad. It's so cliche. It's ridiculous. It's like, you know, I'd go work in the dirt all day, and she's like, she's beautiful, you know. And I really loved how she would rub my hair with her long nails. That's what I really. We're still friends. She's now married to a man, has a baby boy, a young boy and stuff.
Okay.
I was at her wedding.
So you got your attraction, both men and
Women.
yeah.
Yes. I'm
both.
what I call a people
Men.
person. I like people. Like I've lived in Vietnam. I've dated a beautiful French woman named Aurelia, and then
Can you say her name again?
Aurelia?
Wow.
Aurelia.
And then
Can you say that?
Aurelia.
Aurelia?
Aurelia.
Yes.
Ooh,
It
I
was
like
very
that
fun,
name.
Very pretty, and you know, she's a beautiful woman. And then before I came here, I dated my first woman since high school. So in between high school and 40 years old, I was only with men. And you know, and I was brought up in a very like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? That's on you. We're here to help. We're here to love. We're here to guide. But we're not. You know, my parents did nothing of boxing me into anything. Which is probably why I have no money. But that's okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'm successful everywhere else. I just, thank you, Mom and Dad. Shout out to Mom and Dad. Good job, Dad.
But it's mad when you don't have money.
Right before my dad got sick, I was starting to get financially successful. I was running boot camps in Golden, Colorado. And right when I was about to go corporate, right when I was about to like, start making the big bucks, I get the phone call from my brother. He's like, you know what's going on with Pubba? And I'm like, no, what do you mean? He's got cancer. And they said like 7 months. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, I gotta come home. So I quit my job, drove across country with my 2 best friends in the car. We had a huge party when I got there. My dad plays bass. Whenever I come home, we would put the band together. And then we would go to the open mics and we would just jam. We would just like play a lot of music.
I'm sure music is such a healing thing for the soul, right? Going back to the hookups.
The hookups! Get me back to the hookups. Well, like, first. I mean, because some weird shit happened before it should have happened. So I'm not gonna lie. I really want people to know this. Like, you need to teach your daughters that older people are not in charge of you. My mom was a stripper. She was very good at being like, so darling, men are going to try to, and you have to decide if you want that to go down like that, because I'm not gonna be there to protect you. So I was very fortunate in that I was empowered very early. And then I think the first one I remember of a guy, like a normal, high school, we're both teenagers kind of a thing. And I'm like, and this guy's like, so, you wanna make out? And I'm like, I started laughing. This other time, I'm in a Jeep and my friend's hooking up on the front porch or something, and he's like, so, you wanna make out? And like, he had been ignoring me all night, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? No, I don't. I don't wanna make out.
Like, you have a strong personality, I can feel it about you, and your yes is your yes, and your no is your no.
Hey, don't get me wrong though, I have also been weak. You're young, you're gonna be weak. You're gonna suck some dick you don't mean to suck sometimes.
What you say is absolutely true.
Like my mother said, ain't nobody gonna protect me better than me.
So do you call yourself bisexual?
No, I don't call myself, I call myself a people person. The straight world, the straight sexual mentality makes us believe we need to put a fucking label across our foreheads, say I'm gay. Then the next day I meet a man that I'm absolutely in, what, am I straight all of a sudden? Am I bi? No, I like who I like. Well, my parents like really were good at not like putting these boxes around me, so I never felt the need to define it.
So, have you ever been in love, like truly deeply in love?
Why are these questions so hard? You would think they're like roll right off the tongue. The first, yes, I was. So in Texas, in my 20s.
Texas.
Oh, in Texas. Things get crazy in Texas. I actually fell in love with a very, very staunch, like beautiful human Christian.
Can you tell us more about your experience when you in love with a girl?
Yeah, let me go with V. So right before I came to Vietnam, I fell in love with a Thai-Italian.
Thai-Italian, what's that?
That's half Thai, half Italian.
Italian.
Ah, Thai-Italian. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Hot.
Wow. Okay.
And I didn't see that one coming. I'm like, we're hanging out all the time. My best friend and she lived in the same house, so we ended up hanging out a lot together. And she's a lot younger than me. And she's a witch. And
she's a witch.
And she's a witch. A witch, like she's a very powerful human being. She's like a portal into other universes. V is, she does breath work. She's a spiritual counselor. She's just like a magical, energy rich, like.
That's how you fell in love with her?
Well, bitch wrapped her arms around me and I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, holy shit, what the hell? It was like power. It was like, I could feel like red ribbons going into my body.
So what's your longest relationship? Was it with her?
No, that was only 4 months. That was hot and and tough and
emotionally up and down.
Well, yeah, so we're both going through a lot, but also, I just have to say, I lost my girlfriend to aliens.
You lost your girlfriend to aliens?
So I told you she's a spiritual counselor. She has a very strong relationship with aliens. And she was like, I need to focus my life there. And that's why, I also think it was just time for us to break up, but she left me for aliens. And I taught her how to drive.
Imagine your boyfriend says, sorry, I'm leaving you for aliens.
What is happening with the world?
I'd actually want to meet her.
You do want to meet her.
I want to
Everybody
meet her.
wants to meet her. She's fucking amazing.
Oh.
So
Is she coming to Vietnam?
I'm trying. But you asked what the longest relationship I was in. I was in a relationship with a man for 8 years. Also, phenomenal, gorgeous human being. And I think we put each other through a lot of stuff. You know, we had 2 dogs together.
2 dogs, that's important.
Yeah.
We had 2 dogs together.
We did.
And do you still have a good relationship with him?
It's not an active relationship, but it is a loving, caring.
You have a good relationship even after. I really like that about you. Every person that you have spoken about, you speak well about them. Do you mind telling us about your first sexual experience?
I do not mind. I was living in Switzerland. I was an exchange student in Switzerland. So summer came and it was like the Independence Day. And so my friend Jurka was a sheepherder on top of an Alp. We were all going up to party overnight. It was me and like 15 dudes. I'm the only one with iced tea. Everyone has beer, right?
Okay.
And we're climbing up and the sun is coming up behind the mountains. It's like silhouette and it's like gold. And everybody's having a good time and the sun's going down and it's like this. Like around, except for green. Green wasn't in there. But like all the way around in a 360-degree display of light. And that guy is there. My Rotary
So
host
he's like an
counselor,
angel in the Alps.
and I'm sitting right next
Getting
to him and
hot.
I'm like, why am I here with 15 dudes? This is a problem. And I'm a singer. So my other friends came out of the front of the kitchen. They're like, AJ, come inside, you know. You gotta come in here and sing for us. So I go in and I sing Bobby McGee. Do you know that song?
Oh, I love that song.
Can you
Please
sing it?
sing Bobby
Do you
McGee.
mind if I have a sip of water here?
I really
And my
love this
voice
song.
is rough as hell right now. So, busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train with a feeling near as faded as my jeans. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, and nothing nothing, honey, if it ain't free. Yeah, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. You want me to sing the whole thing, or you want? Okay.
That is exactly how Janis Joplin sings it, and it's so amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And all of my friends were like, ah, you know. And when I left, I was like, I'll be right back. So I go in to the main dining hall. So I walk in, I open the door, I walk through, and a blanket just drops down over my head. And I get packed by the side, I get dragged in. We didn't come out for 4 hours, and I think I lost my virginity about 5 times. So anyway, that was great, and then
Like after the Alps, there was no continuous relationship.
no, that was it. And I truly believe when you have an amazing first experience, sexual experience, it pushes your life up. So I feel like moving from that moment changes your sexual energy for the rest of your life. How about your first time?
When I was 19 with my first love.
And was it a good experience?
No, because it was so new to me and I don't know what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and was it like scary?
Not scary, quite interesting, but I don't know what to do and where
You know
to
what,
touch.
the first time you
or
play,
so-
yeah,
or-
exactly.
yeah.
First time you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what is this?
What is that?
A little bouncy, you know, it's like, and then sometimes it like hits you funnily in the face, you know. and it's-
Like, what does it taste like? I don't know.
You said it too.
Depends on his diet.
I heard if you eat pineapple, it tastes nice.
It's true.
Did you have to come out with your family?
I don't even know what that means. You know what? I don't think I told my parents about Alexis when I was in high school, but I was like, how do they not know? She spends the night here every night, you know? And I had experiences with women along the way, but it never was important enough to be like, okay, I have to talk about this. And then by the time I'm 42, when I had my second female actual love, I mean, I just brought her home and said this. They were far more concerned by the fact that she was 22 than the fact that she was a woman.
So no experience of coming out, right?
No. if it's important to you, then you should come out, for sure. Don't stay in the closet.
So anyway, let's talk about your career in Vietnam. Like you said that you were doing healing work.
Fitness/healing work, yes, that is exactly true.
Right?
Thank you.
How long do you think it's gonna be in Vietnam?
It's a good question. My mom asked me this question quite a bit. I have this feeling of 3 years, but if at 3 years I'm not really like moving forward and becoming financially viable, then I'll take a look.
I think 3 years is a good time. Like, it's a good time to see if you're growing somewhere. And I am a strong believer that we need to adjust and change all the time to find our happiness. We cannot stay somewhere for a too long time. Anything else within the 3 years in Vietnam?
So I'm making t-shirts, you know, things that... So I came up with a term called Vietnamese. There's a lot of different ways you can take the term. So Vietnamese is supposed to be humorous and loving, but also like acknowledging of the cultural differences. And then it's also a PTSD awareness thing for the American war veterans in the US who have been a Vietnamese for 50 fucking years from going to war here.
I think that's amazing that you're doing that.
Do you have any message that you want to share to the LGBT community?
Do what you need to do. If you feel like you need a label because that helps you become stronger, then do that. If you have to stay hidden in it for a while so that you can figure out your own self, stay hidden in it. Look for opportunities to express yourself and forgive the people who can't understand you.
That's important, hey?
Like, really, your parents love you, and the reason that some parents maybe, how dare you be gay? It's about them, it's not about you. And they love you, and no one ever taught them about this stuff. It's hard to break through those barriers, so you gotta be forgiving and soft.
Okay, so it's time to
Wrap it up.
Now, give you a gift.
Oh, wow, I get a gift?
Yes. So there's a gift over here for you.
Why, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
This has been amazing. This is really cool, what you're doing, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to talk about this stuff. So, I mean, and I could talk about this shit forever. So, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate
Thank you too. It was nice to meet you.
Yep.
Thanks for coming and share your story and inspire other people. Thank
Hopefully.
you.
Hopefully.
Okay, so...